Hello and welcome to Tiny Blue Games. Today we're playing Wildstar, obviously, and we're doing another class overview. Today, of course, we're looking at the Stalker in all of its glory. I personally am not the master of the Stalker. I'm Seesaw, of course, if I haven't mentioned that already. And beside me, I've got Marks, or Brandon, and we're going to talk about our thoughts on the Stalker throughout beta. Say hi, Brandon.
Hello. Find you. I said hello.
Yeah, it was a big deal for you. So throughout the beta, I only got a Stalker. I think the max level was 9 for me, or 11. Brandon, however, what level did you get to?
I think I'm like 26 right now. Actually, it's right there, 26.
Awesome. So we have a bit of experience as far as what we like, because Brandon's going to make one at start too, so he's obviously somewhat sold on the class.
I do like the class. I don't know. I always like the roguey class. I like the idea of going into stealth, and it's a great escape and stuff.
Yeah. All right. So they're a class that can DPS and can tank, and obviously PvP. I mean, the rogues are always up there for PvPing.
Everything seems pretty balanced in this game. I wouldn't go very far to say that one class is OP right now. It's not like when you play WoW and you get to be like a rogue and just one-shot people for like the first 20 levels.
But that being said, like, stealth is fun in PvP. There's no way we can not say that.
When there's like an army of like 15 people running at you and you can just go into stealth and kind of walk around the side of them, it feels pretty good. Not like being some slow, big, chunky class that just gets to get run down.
So let's talk about how they look. They get to wear the leather armor, right? The medium armor. And they have the claws or dagger. Some of them look more like sort of daggers that are which is kind of, it's cool. I'd almost say that they're uniquely one of the classes that have sort of almost two styles of their weapons, like in the entire game, like, because I would say these are more daggers than claws.
In a way, well, they wear like they do claws, but they are more daggery. I do like the weapon style for the Stalker in this game, because if you look at old weapons that were used by like as assassins in older societies, they did have blades that would come out of their arms. They do have like claw-like weapons with the blade that you could hide up your sleeve or hold as a fist. Daggers were less used, but because harder to conceal sometimes. But it is cooler. There's definitely weapons that were like this in like Arabic societies.
All right,
so that's kind of cool.
So what would their main assets be? I guess like they've got the speed, obviously. If you want to go that way, you can go.
You can, yeah. You could. There's definitely some amps where you can upgrade your dash. They do have the speed. What I did discover that I really liked using recently is the skill that's binded to T, which is the
cripple.
The cripple. It's pretty sweet, because when you actually upgrade it to tier 4, you do get a speed boost yourself, so you're slowing them and boosting your own speed. And it has 3 bars, so you can use it 3 times in a row before it goes on to cooldown.
So that's pretty nice to be able to cripple as well as give yourself speed.
Yeah, it actually hits pretty nice too. So.
And they have a few sort of like jump in the air kind of, like they've got some interesting movement. Like
they do. You can jump up and charge forward, which is great really for getting over objects or escaping your enemies.
So finally, before we show some footage of the gameplay, we'll talk about tanking. We both sort of looked at tanking a little bit. We're not. I mean, how do you feel about a leather tank in general? Like,
they're fun because they're always different from the traditional MMO style. I know Rift went that way with them, and in Rift it seemed like they were either really good or really bad. I don't know if that's how the Stalker is going to be in this one. I feel like it will be a bit more dependent on gear than other classes, maybe.
Because but it'll also be dependent on when you use your skills.
It's
because,
true.
Like, a lot of your skills are going to give you, 70% deflect chance for a while. So it's very much when you pop your cooldowns.
The Stalker's going to be more like deflect and evade oriented. Yeah. But I do feel like just anytime you use a class that has a lower form of armor, the armor will need to be more up to date, just to kind of keep up with how much damage you can take.
Very fair, very fair. All right, so that's just a quick talk of the Stalker. Here's some footage of us playing, as well as some of the things we like to do with the Stalker.
All right, so this is the Stalker in a little questing area, and we get to kill some fun little monsters.
Yeah, there's some interesting little creatures in this wintry place. They have some interesting color graphs. The Stalker was pretty fun to do quests. You have a lot of movement, obviously. It's always fun to come up to your guy's stealth. I sort of premeditate the murder kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like here you see me just dana dana.
Dun, 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 dun,
I was having fun by myself, really. Playing on Mark Stalker, because I don't really have one that high up. I wanted to kind of see how the higher levels worked for them, and it's pretty fun. Right?
They have a lot of cool skills. You don't have enough room for all your skills. You need more.
That's the problem with action combat games, is that you have so many cool skills a lot of the time that you don't know what to do.
Beautiful skills, you can't decide. Oh my god, these two just line up perfectly.
They line up really well for
nice.
That. Ultimately, this fight didn't go super well for me, but I had to put that little scene in there because I was like, "This is the." Do you see the green glowingness on me there? That was the new graphic for one of the engineer skills. They put some new graphics in.
Okay.
During the ops week, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it since the official beta was over. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they've added a lot. You can see the at the top there. There's the new
okay.
The new UI for the flags and stuff. Very clean up to the top, and it's just got those. If you click on the little blue area, it'll bring down the score sheet and all that.
That's pretty sweet.
Anyways, more to the Stalker. Pretty good class, obviously, for killing flag carriers and defending flag carriers, as you have a lot of movement.
Stuns, slows, cripples. There's a lot, and just a lot of damage, which is always a deterrent.
Yeah, I mean, you played more Stalker than anyone, and you especially played a lot of PvP on your Stalker, which is the Thief class. They're going to be pretty good at PvP.
Yeah.
How did you feel ultimately in PvP?
I felt pretty strong damage. Actually, the balancing in the game seemed really good. Like, it didn't seem like when you go into Rift or WoW and you play a low-level Stalker and you can just basically come out and one-shot whoever you want.
They took a lot more consideration for the levels.
You actually have to work down their health, and they have to work down yours. It seems pretty even. It doesn't seem like there's any type of
actually. That's a really good point. The even the PvP low levels, the fighting, like the actual one-on-ones, go on for a lot longer than a lot of other games. Where it's like a few skills in the first levels, and this one it's
even being on a Stalker. You seem to live. You live way more than you were used to on any other stealth class in any other game, it seems.
I'm wondering how long you'll be living on, level 50, or if the damage will just scale up so much.
I feel like the higher levels, it'll be. I feel like won't be as long.
Okay, well, or just about the same. Like it won't.
Or yeah,
because like in WoW and other games, it goes up a lot from level 1.
It does. It does.
How's stealth in this game? Let's talk about it, because we've played Guild Wars 2, we've played WoW, two very different ways of dealing with stealth.
Pretty good. You seem to stealth. You stealth more than I think I'm used to in other games. Like, you can perma-stealth and stay perma-stealthed for a while. Not like Guild Wars 2 where you have the timer. And you seem to be able to go in and out of stealth much more in combat than you do in WoW.
You can get in and you can get in and out of stealth really quickly. I personally love perma-stealth, because that to me is the biggest advantage to the rogue, is waiting to attack, like choosing the exact time you want to go in
and lining it up and everything.
Exactly. That's what I love the most. It really takes a lot of the pressure out of the gameplay for you to sort of just watch it. There's that graphic again there. It just sort of, like here, I was sort of watching the gameplay for a bit and chose to attack this guy who was going for the flag, right?
Yeah, he's got a giant head, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a weird little head on him.
I want one.
Yeah, I want it. So you said damage-wise pretty good. How do you like the weapons, the claws?
I love the claws, actually. The feel to them is really nice, and I've actually always wanted there to be like a claw weapon that was more viable in games. WoW did have them, and they were pretty nice, but they weren't as viable on a rogue class for PvP or anything like that.
They were more the PvE kind of thing.
They really make your character look nice, and like the slashing animations on the Stalker and everything are really nice. They really feel kind of
the slashing and like their movement skills and stuff. It's sort of like you're leaping through the sky. Like there's a lot of kind of movement with it.
Like you're actually trying to hunt somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely has that feeling to it, which is great that they have that. PvE, you obviously played a bit. You did a fair bit of DPS.
Yeah,
we did some tanking too.
I did a little bit of tanking, I think, for the video.
And I tried. I tried some of the tanking skills too.
They're pretty fun.
The tanking seems quite viable.
Yeah, it does.
A lot of movement kind of skills, as well as some life stealing, some dots. A lot of dots actually is what it seems like you'll be able to do. As well as just avoiding attacks is obviously a pretty good thing for you. What I was interested the most in for the tanking is that stealth was still going to be a thing. That if you open with your stealth, you actually get like buffs, like 10% less damage for a long time, which is really cool because a lot of games just kind of try to ignore the whole stealth thing when you're tanking on
pretty cool,
rogue character. Whereas these guys like it as the opener, right? Like
they do, yeah. They still want to keep that. They still want to keep true to your class and what you are.
Which, yeah, you see that with the other ones too, right? Like you see, like the warriors do a lot of leaps in and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the engineers obviously have their gun or they have the bruiser bot.
And they have their different suits and their different things.
Exactly.
They still keep that main skill, your class skill.
Yeah.
What how you play.
Your R or whatever. Yeah. And there's 3 different suits for you,
yeah,
right? Which is kind of different.
Support. It's kind of different, yeah. You get like a support one where you get a little bit more damage and a little bit tankiness, kind of like a lifesteal.
Yeah.
I don't think you tank in it still. I think it's more like if you were questing, I think it'd be pretty fun.
It would be good for questing, and it would be pretty viable, I think, for a PvP build of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what you do with that in the future.
I think, later on in the game, we will see some tank support regen stalker builds where you just don't do the biggest burst, but you still keep a viable damage while stealing health.
Which sounds really cool, like just being able to be more of a combat kind of stalker, like
it does, kind of like
a one-handed sword warrior almost, kind of like you're staying in there for a while here.
Yeah.
No, ultimately I was very happy with the stalker and what it turned out to be. You have a lot of different choices to go with it. Here's a bit of tank footage we have on the Stalker. We kind of found a cool crater in the wintry area, and there's these weird globs of stuff. This guy here is actually like an epic monster of sorts. You can see he's kind of got the spikes around his name or whatever. And I survive along with them for quite like a good time, and like they're doing a lot of damage. But you have the life steal that really just keeps your life up at full. You'll see it go down and it comes up a bit. And as long as you keep movements and stunning, it's very good. Ultimately, I was very happy with the tank, and I thought I wouldn't be. So everything that I thought about this game has been kind of wrong. Like as far as classes go,
everything you thought would like be bad or that might be flawed, it's been really good, and it's surprised you in how good it is.
Yeah, it really has. It definitely some weird monsters in here. Like they've got like belly flops and like. I like
big butts.
I like how they have the really
arms,
big monsters in these games, like even at not super high levels.
I love how goofy these guys look. Like they're adorable.
These things are adorable. Like they do their like little like belly flop,
yeah.
But you can see it's fun on a stalker to do a lot of kiting back and forth, like just sort of circles. Pretty much most of your skills you can use while moving, which is always a big asset.
Movement oriented. Not a lot you have to stop for, which is really good on a melee class. You don't want to be stopping for things.
Yeah.
Because other people will not be stopping for you.
Exactly. Like the melee classes do need a lot more movement with their abilities, especially in a game that focuses around telegraphs, where you have to move out of them, right? There's no way to get around that.
There's no way you're actually gonna be able to stop and slash at someone.
Well, exactly. You can't be anchored to the ground on your melee class, especially as a tank if you have to get out of like a lot of different things.
I think there was a game we played like that where you did have to stop to attack. It wasn't great.
This is sort of our last scene here. You can see some cool little alien squid-faced kind of people.
Monster.
They're in the crater as well.
It's a pretty cool little place. I love that little. I think that's going to be viable for both damage and tanking. That where you kind of channel yourself, then you get like a heal as well as you gain more suit power.
Yeah, no. So I think that's the Stalker's been fun.
Yep.
All right, guys. So that's our overview of the Stalker. I hope you enjoyed it. What's your final verdict on the Stalker?
Pretty fun class, kind of like the traditional stealth class with some new stuff. I mean, you can get a clone, which is how many people do that?
How many people have clones? I mean, and they do feel more like an animal than other stuff. Like because not just the claw animations and that. I don't know the way they move and stuff.
They do feel they kind of move pretty quickly and like slash and jump
around. They've got a lot. I mean, especially if you're an Orin, obviously. But if you're an
Orin, the Draken looks really nice. I do like Draken Stalkers. They're pretty cool. The tail adds to it because you do kind of look like an animal going to claw some people up.
At any rate, we approve of the Stalker. We love it as a class. So feel free to make it if you're the roguey type. And stay tuned, obviously, for the other overviews that are coming. We've done the Engineer one, which I'll link on the screen right now. And subscribe for more. Give us a like if you like this. comment on your thoughts on the Stalker. And that's all. So thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to like it. If you have a comment about it, or a suggestion for a future video, please leave one. If you have friends, share it. And finally, and most importantly, subscribe. Honestly, only one of these is red. Click it.